Hello, hello. All right. Rise in Gemini. Here we go. Beautiful. Let me plug my phone in. I want to make sure it doesn't die on me during this video. Sorry for the inconvenience here for a second. There we go. Perfect. All right, you guys. We are getting ready. Getting ready. There. All right, you guys. We're going to get ready. All right. Can y'all see? Let's see. Please remember to hit the like button if you've come into the room.
Motion detected at the front door.
Alexa, turn off. All right, you guys, we're getting ready now to start. This, again, is the video for November for Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you. Hi, Rosa. Thank you for hitting the like button and coming in. I appreciate it. If you are, in fact, a Gemini or dealing with a Gemini, or you have a Sun, Moon, and Rising Gemini, then this reading will be for you. The first thing that I'm going to say for Geminis for the month of November. Thank you, Tammy. For a lot of you Geminis, I'm going to come off with a bold statement in the beginning. Oh, good, Rosa. So I'm going to come off with a bold statement in the beginning, and the bold statement I'm going to make is, of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears, Gemini. Sometimes, Gemini, the fears that you have about completing a task, following through with a situation, sticking in a relationship, leaving a relationship, working toward a goal and allowing obstructions, allowing people to distract you, to keep you from your blessing. Sometimes you're not seeing it for what it really is because the devil works all day. Sometimes the devil doesn't want you to be able to reach your goal, to fight that addiction, to win that argument, to save your money, to get out of debt. The devil works all day to keep you under control, under his thumb. Starting off now with the sign of Gemini after that message. As I shuffle your cards, thank you, Tammy. The first message that comes up for Geminis, of course, is the Eight of Swords. A lot of Geminis are on the fence about something. A lot of Geminis during the month of November do not know how to make a certain decision or choice. A lot of Geminis are feeling quite confused. You got to remember, Geminis is the sign of the twins. So you have a dominant side and you have a weaker side. And then you have a very convincing side, a very optimistic side, and then you have a negative side. Which twin are you going to follow in the month of November depends on each individual. Geminis, with this Eight of Swords, you are the one, based on your fears, that has created this mental prison that you are stuck in. Geminis, you have let the biggest fear of all, of not being loved, or not being good enough, or not being the one. Geminis, you are the ones who allowed this to take charge, to take over. Some of you Geminis, people tell you, oh, you're overthinking. You're overthinking it. Actually, Geminis, you're underthinking it. What? I'm underthinking it? But the problem is, Geminis, the reason I say you're underthinking something is because you're not thinking through your soul. You're not thinking through what things have done to you. You're thinking on the surface. You're thinking with your mind, but you're not going as deep as you need to. Some of you Geminis have dealt with someone that's a bit older than you. Some of you are making up from something from childhood. Perhaps your father wasn't there for you. Perhaps your father wasn't there to encourage you. Your father wasn't there to be the one to teach you how you should be treated. Or for some of you, your father was there, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to guide you the way he should have. So some of you look for other people, men, women, whoever you are. Some of you look for other people for your happiness, and that was where, Geminis, you made your first mistake. So during the month of November, I want you to take it upon yourself, take the responsibility, take the accountability to understand and own that you are the one responsible for your happiness. Keeping yourself stuck in the Eight of Swords, in this self-created mental prison, is not the place you want to be for the month of November. Yes, you might be feeling powerless. Yes, you might be feeling trapped, stuck. You might feel like all the odds are against you in the beginning of November. But as you change your focus, as you dig down deeper in your soul to come up with answers and decisions and to make choices, not only through your intuition, but through your wisdom, through your experiences, through the challenges that you faced in the past. A lot of you are repeating the same lesson over and over again in the month of November. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to be caught up the way you were caught up the last couple months, for some of you the last couple years, and for some of you the last decade, if you don't want to continue on this same journey, The Eight of Swords is here to tell you, you can break free of this prison that you put yourself in. During the month of November, you have the opportunity with the King of Pentacles to move forward, to find success and stability, to see people that are going to be generous and kind to you, helpful to you, people that want to work with you, people that may want a partnership, people that want to encourage you to become that queen or king that you should be. For a lot of you in the month of November, with the Two of Swords that comes up for you, you're going to have a tough decision to make. A compromise is going to be needed, but this compromise is between yourself and yourself. Did you get that? This compromise is between yourself and yourself. Being that you are Gemini, being that you are two, being that we have two swords, being that you have two different energies that float within you. Sometimes you're super, super optimistic, and sometimes you're super, super pessimistic. The choice is yours. How do you want to do November? Do you want to do it from a positive angle? Do you want to do it while you're not in that mental prison? Do you want to do it when you're free to make your own choices and decisions? Or do you want other people to make them for you? Do you want other people to decide what you're going to eat today, where you're going to go today, if you're going to work today, if you're going to be happy today, if you're going to be sad today? Do you want other people to be in charge of that? Because by keeping yourself in that mental prison, you're allowing other people to predict to you and to control you. Wasn't your biggest situation about being controlled? Somebody trying to make you feel awful? Somebody trying to make you feel less than? Somebody trying to make you feel not good enough? Isn't that what the argument started over? Wasn't it because of a fear base of being alone? Having to do something by yourself? Well, now for most of you Geminis, you are by yourself. But that doesn't mean that you have to be sad. It doesn't mean you have to be alone. It doesn't mean you have to feel lonely. Just because you're alone doesn't mean you have to feel lonely. For some of you Geminis, during the month of November, you may not decide to listen to anything that I'm telling you. For some of you, and you're going to have the Five of Swords, self-destruction. For some of you, you knock yourself down before you even get started. For some of you, you're so scared to try something new, or to go in a different direction, or to try to be on your own, or try to be independent. Try to get rid of that codependency, maybe with your family, your mother, your father, with whoever, your partner. A lot of you are going to allow this to continue because a lot of you feel it's a lot easier to just stay and deal with the bullshit than it is to go off and try something new. I'm glad to see that some of you, as the Seven of Wands, are going to defend yourself. You realize now that you are under attack, that somebody, maybe the devil, maybe your partner, maybe even against yourself. Now you're going to defend yourself. You're going to stand your ground. You're going to remember that God made you perfectly, magnificently, beautiful, handsome, just the way you are. From day one, you were always good enough. It isn't God or anybody else who chose the partners that you chose. You chose someone who wasn't up at your level. You chose someone who didn't have all of the qualities that you were looking for because you wanted to settle, because you just wanted to be like everyone else and married and in a relationship. A lot of you have programmed your mind to believe that you need to be in a partnership in order to be whole. You need to be married by a certain age. You need to have children by a certain age. Your clock is ticking. A lot of you are panicking. For some of you, even gentlemen, you feel like that's what you need to do. You need to have somebody who can take care of you like your mother did. You need to hurry up, make a decision. For some of you, you don't respect your partner, let alone yourself. For a lot of you, you are going to focus on your job and your career during the month of November. Money is going to be very important. Your skill or trade is going to be very important. You're also going to try to focus maybe on changing careers for some of you. For some of you, it's about school and education. But for a lot of you, getting out of the house, getting away from everybody, going to work, being able to keep yourself busy, create a diversion. But a lot of you are using work as an excuse. A lot of you are working overtime and overtime and overtime to keep your mind from having to deal with something that's going on, an actual truth of a situation. For some of you, money is going to be good in November. For some of you, there is definitely going to be an opportunity for you as the Queen of Pentacles to have somebody who's going to support you, and you're going to be willing to take that support. For some of you, you're going to take the advice from somebody older than you. You're going to become very self-sufficient. You're going to show that you can support yourself. You don't need to depend on somebody else and put up with all that nonsense because they paid the bills. You can do this yourself. The amount of freedom and the feeling of freeness is going to be abundantly over you. A lot of you have to realize, as the King of Swords, you do deserve the truth in a situation. You do deserve to be treated fairly. For some of you, during the month of November, Geminis, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, a long time ago, as you were growing up, you thought about love. You thought about Cinderella. You thought about the fairy tales. You thought about how it should be, how it could be. A lot of you lost out on that dream. A lot of you panicked after the first heartbreak. A lot of you became people pleasers. Thinking it's all about just being who they want me to be, doing what they want me to do. Now, in the month of November, for the sign of Geminis, you're no longer going to be this person that's worrying about every single thing, that actually all that worry is changing nothing. It's not doing anything. It's not making nothing better. You're going to finally be the person that decides that this anxiety, this depression that I keep struggling with, I have to push myself to get out of bed every day. Even to take a shower feels like an effort. For some of you Geminis, the struggle's real, isn't it? The struggle's real. Geminis, if it's the last thing I do, you're going to have the strength, the urge, the desire to create a new project, or to come up with new ideas, or to come up with a new way. You're going to free yourself from that mental prison during the month of November before December gets here. You are going to be determined of making plans for your future. Now, a lot of you, as the Geminis, with the Moon card, you're either going to follow that wild dog or that tame dog. You're either going to use your intuition, your gut, your truth. A lot of you aren't ready for the unwanted change. A lot of you are pretty comfortable being miserable and stuck as the victim. A lot of you feel that having to do so much different is going to be too exhausting for you. It's going to be too big of a challenge. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be too scary. Don't allow your identity to be your experience. Don't allow your identity, meaning don't allow what you've been through. Don't allow that pain. Don't allow the deception. Don't allow the third party. Don't allow the not good enoughs. Don't allow the sadness to become your identity. You can change that title. During the month of November, Geminis, this is going to be quite the learning month for you. Use it to your advantage. Promise and believe that the time that you're spending worrying about that other person, worrying if they're coming back, worrying if it's going to work, wondering if they're good enough, wondering if they're thinking about you, wondering if they're missing you, all that blah, 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 blah. Forget it. Right now, Gemini, it's important for you to wonder what you're going to do today, what decisions and plans, what creative ideas or projects that you're going to come up with or without that other person. You are going to make it. You are going to be exactly what your goals and desires and dreams have always wished for you. Geminis, you've been watching tarot and videos and getting readings for years, but you've made no changes. Therefore, it all remains the same. Yes, you'll find that one reader or two readers that are going to tell you what you want to hear. That's not this channel. If you want it to be this channel, then swipe. Swipe to the next one. But if you want to grow, if you want to learn to love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, be proud of who you are. Tall, short, fat, skinny, white, black, orange, green, yellow, I don't care. You are always and have always been good enough, Gemini. Don't ever let somebody take that power away from you. God doesn't make mistakes. We do. All right, Gemini, that's your November 2021.